significantly profited from this case, to the tune actually of $93 million raised for her Democrat clients that include a member of this committee, Representative Goldman, I should point out and put on the record. But also authentic campaigns, of which Lauren Mershon, the daughter of the judge, she runs this firm, Authentic Campaigns, and was paid nearly $12 million for her work this cycle for her Democrat clients, and including $9.7 million by the Biden-Harris campaign. Now, I know that there's been a tremendous amount of discussion today about the severe irregularities of the case, some of the things surrounding jury instructions, but I want to talk about the financial motivations for the DA and the judge. So Judge Wilson, you just said that he got a waiver from Judicial Ethics Committee, and you were pointing out how just the appearance of any impropriety, it's to be taken very seriously. Can you talk about the Judicial Ethics Committee, who makes up that committee, and what are some of the processes that they would use? Would they consider the $93 million or her clients or a direct immediate relative that is benefiting financially from this case?
If you're asking me who makes up the committee, it's a combination of lawyers and judges who are selected by the Appellate Division of New York to hear issues that judges bring to them, asking whether or not they can act ethically in particular circumstances. I myself availed myself of that committee on several instances. When it comes to whether or not they should consider the amount of the contributions, I actually think the amount of the contributions are irrelevant because, as you recall, I said Judge Mershon shouldn't have made any contribution in any small amount to political campaigns. That's based upon a prohibition of judges being involved in political activities, except if they're in a window period during their own campaign. At that time, then, a judge's campaign may make a contribution to another campaign or to another political organization. But that's a strict requirement that it only be during an election when such a campaign is made. No, it doesn't matter so much what the amount of the money that was being made. It matters that this is someone of first degree of relationship to the judge who is profiting from activities that oppose the defendant before that judge. And even if he had an ethics opinion exonerating him, saying, it's okay, your daughter's not a witness, and none of her interests are being tried here, so the Ethics Committee thought it was just fine. There's still an appearance of impropriety that's of great concern to the public in general, and that's what a judge wants to avoid when you're hearing a case. You don't want people to feel that your integrity and that your impartiality is being impacted. Is compromised,
right.
And that's what happened here.
And the judge himself had given contributions, and I think you pointed out very appropriately that it doesn't matter if it was a large or small contribution, but the judge in this case, Judge Mershon, he contributed to a political action committee called Stop Republicans. That is inappropriate, correct?
I
mean, especially overseeing the case of the Republican nominee on the ticket, correct?
He should have known better than to make those contributions while a sitting judge.
Right, and I mean, and I see our Democrat witness, Mr. Wu, you're shaking your head. I'm glad that you agree with us that this is a tremendous question mark on the integrity of this trial. But, you know, I also want to talk a little bit about DA Bragg. Now, I pointed out in our previous hearing that DA Bragg raised $850,000 in campaign contributions immediately upon the announcement of the 34 counts. Mr. Fahey, Have you seen any other prosecutors run this similar arc of campaigning on getting a particular person and then using it subsequently to raise campaign cash?
Not that I can think of. There might be somebody that's done it before. I think the DA or state's attorney in Atlanta, I think, is doing something similar with that case, using that as a campaign case, her case against Trump. But other than those, I don't know of any. It's certainly possible, but you know, $800,000 for a DA's race is enormous. I know in your circles it's not, but those type of races are usually very low dollar amounts.
So it's safe to say that there's financial motivation in the campaigns by multiple different DAs and politicians to quote unquote get Trump, correct?
At least a political financial motivation, not necessarily personal.
Correct. Thank you. My time has expired. I yield.
Gentlelady yields back. Gentlelady from Wyoming is recognized.
I think there are a few things that should be cleared up today. First of all, we are not a democracy. We are a republic. I think it's extremely important to remember that and to understand our form of government. I also think that this is one of the reasons why people dislike politicians. We all know what's happening here. We know that Alan Bragg's prosecution of President Trump is Exhibit A of the left's by any means necessary lawfare campaign against President Trump. Alvin Bragg's prosecution of President Trump opened a dangerous Pandora's box of politically motivated prosecutions of political opponents, and Manhattan District Judge Juan Merchan's decisions, guided by political bias, unfairly prejudiced the outcome of the trial and violated President Trump's